Join me as I dive deep into the complexities of trauma bonding and try to unravel its mysteries. Trauma bonding is a psychological phenomenon that occurs when a strong emotional bond is formed between two individuals in the context of a toxic or abusive relationship. This concept is highly relevant to our emotional and psychological health, as it can have a profound impact on our well-being and ability to form healthy relationships. When we find ourselves in relationships characterized by trauma bonding, we often struggle to understand why we can't seem to break free from the toxic cycle. We may feel a strong emotional connection with our partner, but at the same time, we're plagued by feelings of anxiety, fear, and low self-worth. This internal conflict can be overwhelming, making it difficult to distinguish between love and abuse. We may wonder why we're constantly drawn to our partner, despite the harm they're causing us, and why we feel an intense sense of loyalty and commitment to the relationship. This can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, and self-blame, further exacerbating our emotional turmoil. In these relationships, we often take on a caretaking role, trying to fix our partner's problems and emotional wounds. We may become overly invested in their well-being, sacrificing our own needs and desires in the process. This can lead to a loss of personal identity and autonomy, causing us to feel trapped and helpless. We may even experience feelings of euphoria when the relationship is going well, only to be followed by crushing despair when the abuse resumes. The emotional struggles we face in trauma bonding relationships can be intense and all-consuming. It's essential to recognize that we're not alone in this struggle and that our feelings are valid. By acknowledging the complexity of trauma bonding, we can begin to break free from the cycle of abuse and start our journey towards healing and recovery. When it comes to recognizing the signs and symptoms of trauma bonding, it's essential to understand the cycles of abuse that often occur in these relationships. Typically, the abuse begins subtly, with small, seemingly insignificant gestures that gradually escalate into more severe forms of manipulation and control. The abuser may use tactics like gaslighting, emotional blackmail, and isolation to maintain power and control over their partner. In response, the victim may experience feelings of hypervigilance, anxiety, and depression, as well as physical symptoms like fatigue, insomnia, and digestive problems. One of the most insidious aspects of trauma bonding is the way it can affect our mental health. The constant cycle of abuse and rejection can lead to complex PTSD, a condition characterized by flashbacks, nightmares, and a pervasive sense of fear and anxiety. We may struggle to regulate our emotions, experiencing intense mood swings and irritability. In extreme cases, trauma bonding can even lead to suicidal ideation and attempts. In addition to its impact on mental health, trauma bonding can also have devastating effects on our physical well-being. We may experience chronic pain, fibromyalgia, and other somatic symptoms as a result of the ongoing stress and anxiety. Our immune system may be compromised, making us more susceptible to illness and disease. Furthermore, trauma bonding can even affect our relationships with our children, friends, and family members, causing us to become isolated and withdrawn. A pivotal insight that has stuck with me is the way trauma bonding can be masked by feelings of love and devotion. I remember working with a client who was in a highly abusive relationship, yet she was convinced that her partner loved her deeply. It wasn't until we dug deeper, exploring the patterns of abuse and control, that she began to see the truth. This experience taught me that trauma bonding is often hidden behind a veil of romantic gestures and affectionate words, making it even harder to recognize and escape. Recognizing the signs and symptoms of trauma bonding is crucial to breaking free from the cycle of abuse. By acknowledging the emotional struggles we face in these relationships, we can begin to take back control of our lives and start our journey towards healing and recovery. In this video, we've explored the complex phenomenon of trauma bonding and its profound effects on our emotional and psychological health. We've discussed the emotional struggles we face in these relationships, the signs and symptoms of trauma bonding, and the impact it can have on our mental and physical well-being. Remember, you are not alone in this struggle, and there is hope for healing and recovery. I'd love to hear about your experiences with trauma bonding in the comments below. Have you been in a relationship that was characterized by trauma bonding? How did you escape, and what did you learn from the experience? Don't forget to check out my related videos for more insights and guidance on breaking free from toxic relationships. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.